Okay. All right. So the next line of question is for Jibril and Jibril. People who say Akufo-Addo won fair and square say that he won because of free SHS and the swiftness with which he responded to the pandemic. And some of the freebies they gave, like the water and all those things they gave, was what drove or was the driving force behind his winning. And that's but when you come to the parliamentary side, that individuals or people were dissatisfied with development in the various constituencies. So I find it difficult to reconcile this. How is it that there's all this development going on and the president is getting rewarded for it, but the parliamentarians were getting punished for the same developments that were not happening in their constituencies? So my question is, do you share the same sentiment? Do you think the perceived winning of the election that was just held by Nana Akufo-Addo was driven by his achievements in the last 4 years?
Yeah, so Alfred, if you go on social media right now, one of the trending things just started about 30 minutes ago after the president's speech. He gave a speech not too long ago, is that time for freebies is over.
It's over.
Time for freebies is over. And Ghanaians should brace for a very difficult 2021, very difficult 2021. We'll come back and talk about that. I don't believe that Akufo-Addo even won the election. In spite of the free SHS, which he did not start. The free SHS was started by the Mahama administration. He continued it in a progressive manner, as the NDC wanted to do. In fact, his handling of the pandemic, some of us have criticized him heavily about it. It's been very poor, very bad. I was in Ghana, and the way people's reaction, perception of the pandemic is horrible. People don't wear masks, people don't, social distance, nothing. And so when I got back to the US last Sunday, even though whilst in Ghana I took all the precautions, I had to isolate myself and make sure I take a test before I can come back home. It's been horrible, and we know that he used the pandemic as one conduit to loot Ghana. Get $100 million loan from the IMF and shared among his parliamentary candidates to use to campaign, and they looted Ghana heavily as that. And so he did not win the election. That's the reason why, in spite of all the intimidation, all the disenfranchisement of people, during the registration, making sure that people in the NDC strongholds don't get to register to vote and all that, he still lost the election. And in addition to losing, the EC, which he put in place to help him win the election, had to help him massage the figures, massage the numbers, so that he can appear as the winner. And that is going to come out pretty shortly. He did not win the election.
This is so bad, right? Especially the president who's supposed to be on top of the chain, the governance chain.
Yep.
If he's orchestrating all this gotta be bad for our country. So I guess my next question is, what is the way forward? What do we do from now on? What is the NDC going to do? What have you heard?
So I've heard people say go to court, shut up and go to court and all that, as if all the avenues that the party, the NDC and Ghanaians, not just the NDC, are taking right now, pouring on the streets, expressing their views on social media, on radio, TV, and all that, were mutually exclusive. Where like there are things that cannot be done in addition to going to court. You cannot go to a court with, we have over 33,000 polling stations. And the flag bearer of the NDC has indicated that, yes, he has seen the results of the election. He has won, but he has put together an audit team. I have friends, very good, very professional data scientists, statisticians, and data management experts who are part of that auditing team that I've actually spoken to some of them earlier this morning, who are taking the pain to go through the 33,000 plus polling sheet, pink sheet results to audit and confirm what we already know, so that when we go to court, there will be a watertight case. So that, I believe, is going to be the next step. But that shouldn't preclude Ghanaians from going on the street and peacefully demonstrating, because it's a right, it's a legal right to peacefully demonstrate, and the government of Ghana must warn the hooligans who dress in police uniforms. I believe they are not necessarily Ghana police or Ghana army personnel. They are hooligans that have been put into uniform by the MPP and the government to be shooting into these harmless, peaceful protesters. It must stop. Ghana deserves better than what we are seeing. That is the way forward. The way forward is that, look, in other countries, Mr. Nutekpo has mentioned Togo, Gabon, and several countries. When there are election disputes, you know what happens? The opposition leaders go on the street. They don't ask for recollation. They just go on the street and say, hey, we have won the election. You see what Alassane Ouattara has done in Cote d'Ivoire?
Right.
They just go on the street.
Right. But what was the outcome of that? Did that lead to...
In some cases, it plunges the country into civil war. Okay. In some cases, international organizations come and say, let's do power sharing. We've seen power sharing in Kenya, in Zimbabwe, and other places as a result of all that. But John Mahama, being a consummate Democrat, is not asking for any of this. He's just asking, okay, you said you have won the election. These are the results. Let's recollate the results. Let's audit the results. Take the 33,000 plus polling station results. Let's get an independent audit firm to take each one, add the numbers, do the real mathematics that the EC is unable to do. And then if he loses, he will concede and walk away. What else can you ask of from a political leader? He has shown the way. He has demonstrated a lot of peacefulness, all over the years, and he still continues to do that. He's calling on the party supporters here, please demonstrate, but do it reasonably, do it peacefully. And he's not asking for people to go bend the roads and all that. And the military, the hooligans actually in military uniforms are rather shooting into these peaceful demonstrators. And I think what we need to point out to them is that we have seen countries where military men holding guns ran away from angry people. And, Ghana is a peace-loving country. We have investments in Ghana. Ghana deserves better than what we are seeing from this government and the collusion. Look, what is wrong? I mean, you've conducted an election. Look, let's take Techiman South, for example. You declared that the MPP had won the seat. The NDC is asking, okay, you have declared. Give us the declaration sheet.
Right.
That shows that the person you have declared the winner is the winner, and you refuse to give that out.
That was when the shooting happened, right?
Exactly. And 3 people were killed.
Okay, so there is a substantive IGP in this country, right? And we have uniformed personnel seen captured on video shooting civilians. And so far, we haven't really got anybody arrested, being processed, nothing. What does this tell you? Does this make you afraid of our future? Do you think 2021 is going to be more brutal than we've seen? Or if Nana Akufo-Addo were to stay for the next 4 years, that we'll witness more brutality than we've seen in the last 4 years?
It's going to be worse. So if you haven't heard, one of the people that was shot during this election, I think in Ablekuma or somewhere, was a policeman.
Right.
So the people who are really shooting, I believe most of them are not real forcemen. They are the Delta forces, the invincible forces that have been co-opted or given fake military uniforms, and they are causing all this mayhem. I worry for Ghana because Akufo-Addo has nothing to lose, assuming if he continues to be president for the next 4 years. He's not going to contest any more election. Look at what he has done the last 4 years. Look at the insecurity in Ghana. Look at how much corruption, stealing, looting the country he has supervised. Look at Ejapa, look at PDS, look at Ameri. And he did all that in the face of an impending election that he was going to contest. Now that he wouldn't have an election to contest, can you imagine what he would do the next 4 years? Right. I am really afraid for Ghana. I keep saying Ghanaians should brace themselves for the darkest years ever in Ghana's history, and a very corrupt, nepotistic, and you know, like a dictator president in Akufo-Addo.
Wow.
It's going to be serious, you know, because of things like that. Some of us, you know, I was in Ghana for 2 weeks. You know, you have to be afraid for your lives. You have, you know, times that you cannot sleep in your own house because of the fear that they will send people, sponsored people, to come and attack you. And those are things that were happening in Ghana the last 4 years.
Right.
So
So you
it's
went
terrible.
strictly for the election, correct?